Did you know that Abraham Lincoln read the Book of Mormon? Well, there's a lot of evidence pointing that he did, and he might have been influenced by it more than you think. In November of 1861, Abraham Lincoln checked out a Book of Mormon from the Library of Congress. Here's the ledger that we have of his checkout with his signature up top, and a list of books with the Book of Mormon among them. Now, Abraham Lincoln was arguably our most well-read president. He loved to read. So it is unlikely that he did not read the Book of Mormon, since he actually had it in his possession for 8 months. He had it in his possession for November 1861 and returned it to the library in July of 1862. Now, fun fact is that there was a time in his life that he refers to as his process of crystallization and his Damascus Road experience, right? A very important time for his spiritual and personal growth. Interestingly enough, that time that he was referring to is the exact same time period that he had the Book of Mormon in his possession. Does this mean something? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing is for sure, Abraham Lincoln during this time was grappling with the issues of slavery and minority rights. So, if he did read the Book of Mormon, he would have learned that God loves all his children and all his children are equal in his sight. So did the teachings of the Book of Mormon push Abraham Lincoln to freeing the slaves? Did it give him that final push or motivation? It's very possible. Abraham Lincoln turned in the overdue Book of Mormon back into the Library of Congress on July 29th, 1862. That was a mere 7 days after he submitted the first draft of his Emancipation Proclamation to his cabinet. So did he turn it in because he got all that he needed to get out of the Book of Mormon and prepared his Emancipation Proclamation? Maybe aligned with his teachings? Maybe, that's very possible. I just think it's so interesting how a week after he turned in his first draft of the Emancipation Proclamation, he turned in the Book of Mormon. Now, another thing that I find interesting is that during his famous second inaugural address, he declared, "The Almighty has his own purposes. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that the offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense cometh." He then says, "The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether." Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I find it interesting that sounds a lot like Book of Mormon language. So whether Abraham Lincoln was directly influenced by the Book of Mormon, I don't know, but there's a lot of evidences that point to the possibility of it. And that's enough for me. I think that's really cool. But if you want to learn more about this, want to go more in depth in these studies, there's a book called The Lincoln Hypothesis by Timothy Ballard that talks a lot more about this subject.